What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Alright, going back to Metallica. Yes, indeed. Metallica Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. This is a request from Noah Eglin and Ian Wakefield. They both want to see me react to this song by Metallica called That Was Just Your Life. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. For those of you that might be doubting me, and are wondering, how could he have not heard this? He looks like a Metallica fan. I was a Metallica fan up through And Justice for All, okay? I loved Kill 'Em All. Ride the Lightning is still my favorite album by them. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people think I'm nuts for that, but I love that album. I think songwriting-wise, Master of Puppets and Justice for All were some of the finest metal songs ever written, ever, period, hands down. Some of the finest songwriting in all of metal. I was not a big fan of the mix of And Justice for All. Even though some of my favorite songs are on that album, the mix is just, oh God. The entire album sounds like it was recorded inside of a gigantic tin can. So I'm not a fan of that album. Lots of compression in that album. A little overly compressed. The Black Album, I got it, I listened to it, and I was okay with it at first. I was okay with it until it got to be overplayed, and I was just like, this does not sound like the Metallica I know. This is not, I know I get a lot of criticism for that, I get it, but I started falling out of love with Metallica with that album, but I'll tell you the albums that really did it for me. Load and Reload. I was not a fan of either album. As a matter of fact, I bought Reload and I listened to it once, I think. No, actually, no, I listened to it 3 times. I always give albums 3 chances. I always do. I remember I was done listening to Reload for the 3rd time and I took the CD out and I smashed it. I busted it, man. I took it in my hand and I busted it on my knee. I cracked it right in half and I said, I'm never listening to that ever again. And I stopped listening to Metallica after that, guys. I did. So that is how I've never listened to this song. Now this song, from what I understand, comes off the album Death Magnetic. Now I've done, I think, a couple of songs. No, wait. No, that was off the Hardwired. I loved a couple of songs off Hardwired, and that's when I was like, okay, maybe I need to work my way backwards. And well, here we are. Now we're on Death Magnetic. With this song called That Was Just Your Life. So here we are, gonna give it a first listen, see how it goes. Well, I'm not making any promises. I may love it, I may hate it, I don't know. We'll find out. This was posted by Metallica, okay? And the video has 2 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. That Was Just Your Life. And here we are, Metallica Death Magnetic. I was told that this was the album where they started coming back around to their roots again. I was told that this album was very much written in the same vein as And Justice for All. Just, it was mixed better though. So I was like, okay, well that's good. So that's always a plus. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Okay, heartbeat. Makes sense. feel like any second now this is gonna take off. The way they keep coming, that riff, da 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 da. I'm just like, they're building that. They're building that to something, and I have a feeling this song's gonna take off. I just don't know when. I could see the correlation between this and Injustice for All. I could see it. From a songwriting standpoint, it's a big buildup. It's a big buildup, and the anticipation for that buildup is definitely there, thanks to the notational selection. It's building. It's definitely building, and like I said, I feel it, and I know it's going to take off. I have it. Well, I don't know 100%, but I feel like it's going to take off. So, yeah, I felt very much kind of the same way when I listened to Blackened for the first time. I was like, yeah, it's building, it's building, it's building. The mix, it is better. It is definitely better than Injustice for All. It's not as compressed. Don't get me wrong. It's still compressed. The compression is there. I remember reading in the comments, a lot of people were saying that was a big complaint of theirs with this album, was it was heavily compressed. And a lot of people were saying it's just as compressed as Injustice for All.
I respectfully disagree.
It's not that compressed. It is compressed, don't get me wrong. Compression is there, but it's like half of what Injustice for All was. So it's not bad. It's not bad. It's tight, but it's not bad. Let's keep going here. That's building. It's even more building. Uh-oh, here we go, I have a feeling. Yep. Double time.
Like a siren in my head that always begs to repeat. Like a blind man that I shoved into the speeding driver's seat. Like a face that learns to speak when all I knew is how to bite. Like a misery that keeps me focused going on a straight. Like an endless nightmare that I must awaken from its state. Like conviction, a premonition, not worthy of so I deny. I deny it.
I got chills a little bit right there, man. I did. I see what people were talking about when they said this song reminded them a lot of Blackened. I absolutely see the correlation. I do. Yeah, I see it. I do. A lot of the same feels, a lot of the same structure, both in chordal structure and in vocal delivery. A lot of those pausings in between phrases, ending the phrase with that sustained vocal line. Yeah. I'm digging it. I can't even hide it. I'm digging this. Let's keep going.
I blind my eyes and try and force it all into place. I stitch them up, see not my fall from grace.
Almost like an offbeat feel.
I blind my eyes, I hide a feeling passing me by. I open just in time to say goodbye. Almost like your life, almost like
Straight.
your endless fight. 'Cause the day is long.
I
Realize you don't belong. Disconnect somehow. Never stop the bleeding now. Almost like your fight, and there it went. Almost like your life.
back in the straight.
Like a wound that keeps on bleeding to remind me not to blink. Like a rain
God, this is bringing me back. Oh, man. Oh, my God. This is absolutely bringing me back to old Metallica feel. God dang it. Ugh. It feels good, man. It just feels good. Again, those plays on feels, switching between the straight time and the double time, back to straight time, switching down to half time. And then they did something really cool. They took the riff and they didn't change the riff one bit. All they did was switch the attacks so that it didn't feel like the attacks were on the downbeats. The attacks felt like they were happening on the offbeats. They were putting more of the emphasis and the accents on the attacks that were on the offbeats. And it made it feel like it was an offbeat pattern, even though it really wasn't. It was still the exact same pattern they just played in the last phrase. But because they switched up the accents, good Lord, it just felt like a totally different riff. Simple thing. I know this is going to sound totally going against what I just said. You take something, you take a theory as simple as just inverting the accents. Instead of being on the downbeat, you put them on the upbeat. That's all you're doing, right? And it makes it sound completely different. It's such a simple thing to do. It really is. When you think about all we're talking about is counting and subdividing. That's all we're talking about. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So people are going, put the emphasis on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what they did was, instead of putting on the downbeat and putting the accent on the downbeat, they put it on the upbeat. So one and. You see what I mean? It's on the upbeats instead of the downbeats. And it just something so simple and yet can be so effective at making the exact same thing you just played sound totally different. God dang it. It's so cool, man. It's so cool. Let's keep going here. See, here we are. There it is. There it is, right there. That's what I was just talking about. And. Yep. It's on the downbeats. On the upbeats again. If I was going to put a guitar solo anywhere, I would put it right here. The next thing we're gonna hear. If it was me, this is where I would put a guitar solo. I don't know if there's one or not, but I'm guessing there is. Especially considering the fact that you heard those guitar lines carrying the main melodic line at that point, taking over. Kicking myself. I'm absolutely kicking myself. I know I didn't like Load. I know I didn't like Reload. I know that. I never even listened to Saint Anger. I still haven't listened to that album. But now there's this, and there's Hardwired. And I have a dilemma. I have a real serious dilemma. I'll talk more about the dilemma in my review. Let's get back. Let's see if I'm right about this guitar solo. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, no guitar solo. My bad. Never mind. Nice. Like that. Ooh, tight. Oh yeah. That riff, I'm sorry, I gotta go back. Nope, nope, I don't care. Hey, it's my show. If I wanna go back, we're gonna go back. That riff, that's the memorable riff for me. Yeah, I'm gonna remember that triplet pickup. Yeah, I'm gonna remember that for sure. That is super tight. Here? Yep. Get it. So they only say the name of the actual song right at the very end. I mean, they said things like "almost like your life," and it's like there it goes, or there it went, whatever they said, "almost like your life," and they only said the name of the song. That was just your life at the end. Like there it was, that whole thing. There it was. Smart. I'm glad they didn't overuse it like a lot of other bands have in the past. Nice. God, what's sad is that's like the only lyrics I got. I suck at lyrics, guys. I really do. It's not that I don't care. I suck at lyrics. There's a lot going through my mind right now. A lot of thoughts and a lot of emotions going through my head. Let me think about it. Let me sort everything out, and I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Metallica with That Was Just Your Life. This was a request from Noah Eglin and Ian Wakefield. All right, I have a score, and I'm going to give my score, and then I'm going to try my best to keep this as short as possible, but guys, I'm just going to warn you right now, you might want to get some snacks and get comfortable because I got a lot to say. And like I said, I'm going to do my best to keep it short, but I can't make any promises. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.9. Yep, 8.9. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, seriously, go get snacks. I'll wait. This is gonna take a while, and get comfortable. I am going to do my best to keep this short, but I have so much I want to say, so much I'm thinking, and so much I'm feeling. And I've always believed in 100% total transparency on this channel. I don't try to hide anything from you guys. So I'm gonna be a straight shooter. I'm gonna shoot from the hip, and I'm gonna speak without a filter. So, everybody ready? Everybody settled in? Good. Here we go. I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot, and I'll be the first to admit it. And the sad thing is, I've done this with a lot of bands. I did this with Judas Priest too. After Load and Reload, I gave up on Metallica. I did. I'll be the first to admit that I did that, because I did not like either album. And I thought to myself, here we go. It's Judas Priest all over again. For those of you that don't know my Judas Priest story, I keep talking about this Judas Priest rant I'm going to go on, and one of these days I'm going to do an actual rant. But I'll give you the Cliff version notes, okay? In honor of Cliff Burton. When I discovered Judas Priest, I discovered them with Screaming for Vengeance. And I was like, this is amazing. I've never heard anything like this. This is fantastic. So I do what I always do, and I started at the beginning. And I worked my way up. Now, I'm not going to lie, Rock'n'Rolla wasn't a big fan of. Sad Wings of Destiny, it was pretty good. I liked that album. And I just noticed that every album got better and better and better. Up until we got to Defenders of the Faith. Now, Defenders of the Faith, I still liked. Okay? I still liked that album. Then came Turbo. And I remember I listened to Turbo, and I heard the guitars, and I was like, what in the hell is that? Is that like some sort of synth guitar or something like that? I mean, this is not good. This does not sound good. And I was like, okay, well, look, every band has that one album that's just, you know, absolute trash, absolute garbage. Maybe that was the one. Maybe that was the one. Let's see what they have next. Well, what they had next was Ram It Down. God. God. That album was horrible. That album was worse than Turbo. And I was like, okay, Turbo did this. Ram It Down did this. This is the new direction. This is the new sound they're going for. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I am never listening to Judas Priest ever again. And to this day, I have not. So I stopped listening to Judas Priest after I heard Ram It Down. But I gave it 2 albums. I gave it 2 albums to change it. Because like I said, look, every band has that album they put out that they think is, at the time, going to be great because we're trying some new things. And it turns out to be utter and complete garbage. And the band goes, okay, well, we're going to learn from our mistakes. And we're not going to do that again. And they don't. But in Judas Priest's case, they did. They made the exact same mistakes, only they made it worse. So that's why I stopped listening to Judas Priest. Same thing with Metallica. I loved Kill 'Em All. I did. I started my journey with Metallica with And Justice for All. That's where I got introduced to them. And I was like, okay, I got to go back to the beginning and see what else these guys have done. So I did. I went back to Kill 'Em All. Loved it. Ride the Lightning. Still, to this day, my favorite Metallica album. Master of the Puppets. Great songwriting. Immaculate album from start to finish. Not my favorite, but a fantastic album from start to end. And then, of course, the Justice for All, which I was familiar with. And then, right as about the time I got through with that, out came the Black Album. Okay, the Black Album for me was like Defenders of the Faith for Judas Priest. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but it was good until it got a little overplayed. You know, I started hearing a little bit of commercialism in there, and I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens. Then came Load. Load was turbo. Load was, oh my God, what the hell happened? What is this? This is not Metallica that I know. This is, I don't think I like this. I don't like this direction. Okay, fine. You know what? Look, every band writes an album that, you know, it's not, you know, they try some new things and they think at the time it's going to be brilliant and it's going to do well. And I was really hoping Metallica would go, okay, well, there we go. That's our turbo. That's our turbo. Let's get back to what we know we do well. And instead, they put out Reload. That's it. God. God. Done. I'm done. I am done with Metallica at that point. I was fed up. I was finished. I took that CD, I broke it across my knee, and I said, never again. I'm finished. So I was done with Metallica. I actually was. I had completely written them off. Then I started doing this channel, and I saw Metallica requests. I don't want to, but I did. And I am so glad I did. Oh, wow. I remember I heard a couple of songs off of Hardwired, and I was like, this reminds me of old Metallica. This reminds me of old Metallica. It brought me to tears. It absolutely did, especially when I heard that little bass riff, and I was like, that sounds like a tribute to Cliff. That absolutely brought tears to my eyes. But it was all off of Hardwired. And I remember in the comments people saying, and they all told me they could relate. They could relate to my story, and they said, you know what? We followed the exact same journey you did, but we kept listening. We powered through Load and Reload. We listened to Saint Anger, and then came Death Magnetic. And Death Magnetic is where they started to turn around and go back to their old ways. And I was like, album. Okay, well, that's not mistaken. Maybe I could be wrong about that. But this was fantastic. And when people said this is where they started to go back, and a lot of people in the comments were even saying this album had shared a lot of similarities with And Justice for All. The songwriting, the style of songwriting, longer songs, but well written, longer songs that didn't feel like longer songs that flew by, very much like And Justice for All. They even said in the comments that a lot of the mixing issues were the same though, and I have to disagree. I don't hear okay, I hear compression. Yes, I do hear compression, but it's about half, if not more, of what And Justice for All was. So, no, I got no issue with the mix on this at all. The mix was fantastic. It was compressed, yes, but it was for the purpose of tightness and eliminating bleed over and eliminating background sound and hiss and stuff like that. So, I got no issue with it. No issue with it whatsoever. I appreciate it. The songwriting on this, definitely reminiscent of And Justice for All. In particular, Blackened. A lot of the same play on feels were happening, switching between straight time, double time, half time. Some great subdivision work, especially when it came to alternating the accents, switching from downbeats to upbeats, just like Blackened. And I was like, wow. This song reminds me of Blackened. It really does. It's like Blackened Part 2, but it sounds different enough that you would never, you know, you have to really think about it, but it's not like you're gonna listen to this song and go, oh, this is Blackened Part 2, and there were no similar lyrics or anything like that within it. So, no, it was a very well-written song. Very well-written song. The instrumentations was fantastic. The guitar tones, outstanding. Very well-balanced guitars between thickness and in the tone and the musical notes within the tone. It wasn't so thick that it turned to mud. It was thick enough to get it nice and chunky though, and you want that in your guitar tones. I could hear bass. That's one of the biggest things about And Justice for All was bass really, I know a lot of people will say it wasn't, but I respectfully disagree. Because of all the compression, bass was really kind of washed out of the mix. Was that intentional? I don't think it was intentional, but you know, I saw the interview with Jason Newsted where he felt it was intentionally washed out. I don't know if that's true or not. I think that's just because there was so much compression that the bass got taken out of the mix. See, you can hear it, but you have to really search for it. With this song, you didn't have to search very far. I mean, I did have to look a little bit, but I mean, for the most part though, I found it really easy. I really did. And I loved the bass on this. The drumming was nice. I've always been kind of a critic of Lars's drumming. He's a sloppy drummer, and he even says it himself. He knows he's a sloppy drummer. Thank God for Pro Tools. But he always works on it and works and works and works. And by the time they are ready to play live, he's got it down, you know, to the point where it sounds solid. It's solid. It's not super tight. It's not super impressive, but at least he's not dragging and rushing like he is during the songwriting process. So, you know, but this sounded really good. The drumming sounded fantastic on this. Vocal style sounded outstanding. It sounded more like the newer Metallica, but there were some shades of older Metallica in there as well. So I liked it. I like this, hands down. And this is where the emotions really kind of kick in. I'm kicking myself, and this is where I'm saying I'm an idiot. I'm kicking myself because I could have been listening to this for years. I could have been listening to this whole time. I could have been enjoying this song and other songs off of this album and off of Hardwired this whole time. But I didn't give them a chance. And that is absolutely 100% my fault. And I will absolutely own it and wear it. Because I was the one who made the choice to put them on the shelf and forget about them after Load and Reload. I was the one who made the choice to not listen to them ever again. That was on me, okay? Absolutely, I own it. I will wear it, okay? Having said that, there's part of me that wishes I had it. Now, here's the thing, though, and this is where the double-edged sword and the catch-22 come into play. If I had listened to these albums before I started this channel, I would not have been able to experience this for the first time with all of you. I would not have been able to share the joy that I felt listening to this song for the first time with all of you. So that's the double-edged sword. I kind of wish I had not put them on the shelf and I could have been enjoying them for years. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because now you get to experience it with me. And I think that's special. I like that. I like being able to experience new things and share those experiences with you, because I know vicariously you guys are experiencing it for the first time through me. And you're seeing how I feel about it, much like you did when you heard it for the first time. So I get it. I get it. I have no regrets as far as the channel goes, but I'll be honest with you, I do kind of regret not giving these guys another chance. I do. And apparently there's a request for an album, at least a song from an album called Painkiller. And I've heard of this album. I didn't listen to it because I was like, I don't want to hear Ram It Down Part 2, or I don't want to hear Turbo Part 3. But while I've been reading in the comments, everybody has been telling me that album turned Judas Priest around. Well, I'm looking forward to doing that. I am. I'm looking forward to doing a reaction to that song. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, if everybody's hyping it up, I'm going to be honest with you guys. You guys are putting a lot of hype on that song. Hopefully it lives up to the hype. We'll see when I eventually get to it. Maybe somebody will prioritize it. I don't know. But I know I've seen that in the queue. I think there might be a couple other songs in the queue as well for more Judas Priest. But I know there's more Metallica songs as well. But I've enjoyed this. I absolutely enjoyed this song. I enjoyed every Metallica song I've heard on the channel so far. So let's keep the journey going. What do you say? Yeah, absolutely. I know there's other Metallica requests. I know I'll get to them eventually. But as far as this song goes, 8.9 is a very appropriate score for this song. That is where we're going to stay, and that is all I have to say. Thank you for sticking around and listening to me rant. So, 8.9, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys want to do those things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.